Welcome to day 2 of Trainer Bootcamp, how to teach effectively. Take a look up here. You've already seen that we've talked about credibility first. That's the same as what? Trust. Rapport next. That's building what? Relationships. And then we talked about how to hook trainees, class hooks, lesson hooks. And now we're going to talk about how to keep them engaged all the way up to how to teach all your learners. This piece right here is the one I said all the trainers, teach all learners, want to start with. And I mentioned last time there's a whole bunch of stuff you have to do before we get there. We just did that on day 1. Now what we're going to do is spend an entire day on just this section right here. Now if you ask me, Jason, you know all those trainers you watched, over 1,000 trainers over 5 years, and you took all hundreds of thousands of words and pages of feedback. What was the thing that the experienced trainers needed the most help with? What do you think the answer was?
Reaching all levels.
It was reaching all learners, and in particular this one. Really good trainers oftentimes have the curse of what? So as you get more and more experience in the software, you become less and less able to imagine what it's like to be what? To be new. If you're a new CT, a credentialed trainer out there, or a new any kind of trainer, you actually have a leg up in this area. Because you remember just yesterday what it was like to start this software for the first time, and you can experience what it's like for a new nurse, a new physician. But if you've been training a long time, this right here is very hard. I'm going to teach you how today, I remember I said earlier, it's not about you, it's about who? Them. I'm going to teach you today how to really make that happen with making things easy to understand, with actually getting to the point where their light bulbs go off before you get to say the answer. I'll make this real simple for you right now. I have a rule of thumb for experienced trainers. I want you to look at all your content and tell me what's the most difficult, hard to understand concepts in each of your lessons. And my rule is, you do not get to tell them the answers to those, ever. They have to figure them out. You do that in your classroom, and you have what's called synthesis, this thing that the educational psychologist Bloom talks about, and the best trainers in the world are able to get synthesis with their trainees. That's how they break the what? The curse. But we also talked about hooks and how to get people's attention. We're going to talk about now how to keep their attention. Let's do a quick review. What was the thing in brain rules? How many minutes do people stop listening to you? 10. Every 10, there's the drifting theory. We're going to talk about how to re-engage them every 10 minutes. We're going to talk about how to manage the pace, how to keep things, make things easier to follow along. And we're going to start all of this on page 104